Welcome back to Open Source, my interview series for candid conversations with yogis. I'm Lizzie Lassiter. Joining us is the wonderfully calm and soothing James Reeves. Hello, hello.
Sometimes. Hi.
Hi,
Nice
hi,
to be
hi.
with you. Thank you.
I want to ask you today, what is your practice like? What is your personal practice like? I know you're a dad, you're a teacher of yoga nidra, you have an online business, you are an awake citizen of the world. So, how do you find balance, James, between rest and action, serving yourself and serving others?
Mm. Yeah, it's a wonderful question. And I think anyone that's managing life, particularly with kids and various responsibilities, we all get caught. So, how does that look in my day? Well, pre kids, I was pretty dedicated to a regular practice, and it would have a time slot, and that was always morning meditation and then whatever else came along with it. So, some breathing practice and then sitting quietly. These days, that can show up at any time of the day. So, when I don't have my kids with me, it's first thing in the morning. And then when I do, that never happens because often my 5-year-old's in bed with me in the morning and I try and sneak out, get out from under the covers and he's like, Daddy, what's going on? So even though I have a little meditation set up right next to my bed, that typically doesn't happen first thing in the morning. And although I miss it, I will find time for it during the day. So that might be in the evening when they're inevitably plugged into some devices for half an hour, and I'll go and sneak off and do my thing. And then through the day, this is my practice, and it's from really the Book of Rest. So myself and Gabrielle wrote that Book of Rest maybe 3-4 years ago now. Oh, there it is.
Let me
And
just show everyone this should be on your yoga bookshelf, should be by your bed. Fabulous, fabulous book.
Thank you, thank you. A lot of heartfeltness went into writing that, and a lot of experience. So there is structure that we can apply to yoga practice, and we might have a set route. We might be doing a series of postures that are very familiar to us, or learning something new, or have some breathing practices that we engage with. But what I love to do is lie down on the floor and do nothing for 5 minutes or 8 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it might be. And I'll try and catch myself when I get into busy mode and doing mode and I'm looking at my to-do list and feeling that sense of, I will inevitably at some point just stop and lay down. And it comes with a bit of social stigma. Where I used to live, neighbors have popped in and, I was lying there on the floor and there's comments like, oh, how do you get anything done? What, like, oh, right, that looks great. That looks nice. But how have you got time for that? And there is always time for these moments. So, I mean, maybe because of my makeup as a person, I get tired. And I know that I'm not my best when I'm tired. I can make the wrong decisions and I can be reactive. I just know to do that for myself. So there will be moments in my day where I'll take those 5 minutes, and then at lunchtime, assuming that life is letting me do it that day, and I set my life up to make it happen. Every lunchtime, 20 minutes, half an hour.
All right, so let's get technical
Mm.
because I think that's helpful for people. These 5 minute, 8 minute mini breaks, you literally lie down on the floor, no props, no pillows, no blankets. Do you use a timer?
Yeah, I'll use the timer, particularly if I'm tired, because then I may fall asleep. So I'll use a timer to bring me back, and also so that my mind can relax from that sense of, oh, how long have I got? What's happening? Everyone's got a timer on their smartphone, so everyone can do that. And we, something to say that's I think really important to notice and manage is that those 5 to 8 minutes may be restless. They might be full of thought. They might be full of planning or oh gosh, I need to email that person, or oh, I forgot to put the bins out, or whatever it might be, I need to add that to the shopping list. You have to let all of that stuff be there and not feel that it's a failure. This idea that we'll go from crazy busy to zen in 1 minute just doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
I have recently been following James's, what are you calling it? Mentorship program or
Yeah, it's called Find Your Calm. It's like weekly rest sessions. Had to
yeah.
be called something.
No, it's
Um,
fabulous. I'm going to give you the website just because we're mentioning it now. You can find it here, deeprest.com, which is James's website. What I wanted to say is in one of the recent sessions, James was leading us in a guided yoga nidra, and I was restless. I was thinking about a lot of stuff, and I wasn't reaching that kind of gooey, yummy space that I was hoping for. And then I had actually a really beautiful kind of deep body insight, which is exactly what you're saying, James, is like I realized, well, even if I'm noticing that I'm uncomfortable, physically uncomfortable, and sort of a little emotionally uncomfortable and mentally spinning, the fact that I'm just here in real time, noticing that over and over, that is the practice. That is a victory. Like that is, I am doing it. It's not that I'm not doing it because it's not delicious. It's like I'm doing it, even noticing that I'm internally tight. Sometimes I'm going to be internally tight. That's part of life. And would you agree that that can help us relax around the content of what comes up when we rest?
I think it's paradoxical, isn't it? If we're willing to be there amidst all of the noise, then the noise goes, oh, it's okay to be here, and it settles down in the same way that anyone that wants our company. So I consider all of those inner turmoils that we're talking about as messengers, as arrivals. As we meet and greet them with warmth and receptivity and openness, those thoughts that are coming to knock on our door kind of go, oh, it's okay to be here. He's been ignoring me all day, or all week, or all month, or for the last 2 decades. But here we are, and he's receiving whatever's going on here. So, anxiety, restlessness, quote unquote, disturbing emotions, all of those things that we consider to be taking us away have to be part of it. And I think if we allow them to be there, then we can very quickly fall into what's behind them. Because for all of us as individuals, we have this deeper sense of presence or consciousness, sentience, awakening,
Mm,
call it what you want. It's
mm.
there. And when we're fighting and struggling, we just are creating more tension and tying ourselves up further in knots. When we allow it to be there, there becomes this kind of unraveling, I think, that takes place.
Oh, that's a really nice word. I what I love to do is use what I call think of as like pinch points in my days as triggers for rest, for little spots of rest. Like if I have 7 minutes before a Zoom is starting, or um, 10 minutes before I have to leave the house to pick up the kids. And then instead of frittering that time away, checking my email one more time or opening Instagram, et cetera, I think, if I lie down right now and set my timer, then I have them. It like it squeezes me into starting as opposed to being like, yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit later. I'd love to ask you before we close, James, one idea, tactical idea you have for people. There is a lot of resistance to home practice. The
Mm-hmm.
idea of doing these things all alone by ourselves without going to a yoga studio or logging into an online class. What do you like to say to people to encourage like a more regular incorporation of formal practice into the rhythm of our days?
Yeah, I've got a few kind of nuggets that I find really helpful with this. We've been talking about something that's unstructured but still has a structure, as in you're lying down. But how about when you're boiling the kettle, instead of tidying up around the kitchen area, or checking your phone, or folding up the laundry, or whatever else you might do, go and stare out the window. Or stare, I mean, it doesn't have to be the window, just stare at the wall. In the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra, there's a lovely interpretation by Lauren Roche, called the Radiance Sutras. And there's a translation from him that talks about, staring at a stain on the wall. So rather than and there it is, there's the Radiance Sutras.
There it
So
is.
it's a beautiful book. It's a really beautiful book. Just gaze out at something. I just set up a bird feeder with my kids. It cost £3 from the local thrift store, and it's lovely. It's gorgeous, and we all sit and have breakfast together, and then we'll catch the birds. And the kids then get the binoculars out, and they want to see what the birds are. But these are really great moments of presence that we can put into our day. So the kettle's on, or like you say, you've got 5 minutes between things. Try not to fill it, but come back to that sense of being.
All right, that is so, so helpful and wonderful. I love that idea, gazing out of the window. I'm going to tell you where you can find James, all things James, on the internet, deeprest.com. Check it out and look at this monthly membership. It's really, I'm really enjoying it. There's lots of recordings that come with it. There's a whole back end membership site. You can find me at lizzie.yoga. Everything I'm doing is there, especially my free weekly newsletter that goes out on Sundays, but I don't write it on Sundays because I'm not working on Sundays.
You're
Thank
just
you so
staring out
much.
the window, huh?
I'm just staring out the window, being screamed at by my 2 3-year-old boys.
Oh,
All right. Thank you so much, James.
yeah, great to be with you. Thank you.